Hola, me llamo Señora Bev y soy del Museo Rockwell. Y vamos a construir una ofrenda para el Día de los Muertos. Oh no, don't worry. I'm not going to speak Spanish the entire time. But I did think it was an appropriate way to start. Why? Well, there are two reasons. First of all, because this ofrenda was inspired by the ones created in Oaxaca, Mexico. And as you know, the official language of Mexico is Spanish. And the second reason is that I'm a retired Spanish teacher, and I love speaking Spanish. As a Spanish teacher, I created with my students lots of ofrendas over the years. Each one was very unique and special. Each one had kind of its own personality, but they all had some common elements. And that's what we're going to work on today as we create our own ofrenda. We're going to put together the common elements, such as the ones that are found here, and we're going to make one and show you actually how to make your own ofrenda if you'd like to do it at your home or perhaps in your classroom. So we're going to leave this beautiful ofrenda so that we can start from scratch, and you'll know how to do it if you want to do one on your own or in your classroom. Okay, we've moved over to our creating space. If this were our home, we would have cleaned this area all up. So the first thing is that an ofrenda has 3 layers. This bottom layer has a nice, possibly a brand new tablecloth, or a tablecloth that's been put away and brought out and washed and ironed and set up. The second layer, I've used some cloth that I bought at a local fabric store. And our third layer has a very, very special cloth. This was a piece that was embroidered for us here at the Rockwell, hand embroidered, by the way, and obviously took then very many hours. And it's one of the things that an ofrenda does. It shows our loved one how much time we are willing to put in to show how much we care about them. This is an excellent piece to do that. Hours and hours just for a few days of a year, just to show someone we care. So the next thing we need is an arch. And typically, if we were in Mexico, we would go to the market and we would get some fresh sugar cane. And we would be able to bend it over and place it in here. Well, we don't have that here in upstate New York. So we're going to use a pool noodle. You see it bends over very nicely. Okay, so here's my finished arch. Lots of colorful flowers. Typical of Mexico would be this flower that looks like a marigold, and these are grown specifically for Dia de los Muertos in Mexico, and they have a very difficult to pronounce name, cempasúchil, which isn't Spanish, it's indigenous. You can use whatever flowers you have. You could probably even add in some colorful fall leaves if you wanted to. So there's our base. Now we have to decide who are we going to honor. Well, if you've watched Coco, you know that we could have lots and lots of photos on here because we obviously have many family members that we miss and love. We, being the Rockwell Museum and an art museum, have chosen to honor Frida Kahlo. This is a self-portrait that Frida painted. You may know her. She's probably Mexico's most famous female artist. And there, we can consider this an invitation. This is letting Frida know that we would like her to come back and visit with us and that we are going to create something special just in her honor. We're going to add another part to the invitation, and that is a calavera, or a sugar skull. You go to the market and there are tables just filled with row after row of these, and they come in various sizes. We have ones even this small. We've chosen this one, and you'll notice all the decorations, and there's even a strip here of foil across the forehead. What you do when you buy this calavera is you ask the vendor to write the name of the person that you're honoring. So we would write Frida across here, and we would place that calavera on the ofrenda. Now you're going to say, but we don't have access to sugar skulls. Well, you can always be innovative. You can go to a store, because Dia de los Muertos is very popular now here in the United States, and you can get a skull plate. And so I just wrote Frida across it. And we'll put that up here. Now she knows. Another thing you can do is get some model magic and actually make your own sugar skulls. And you can never have too many sugar skulls on an ofrenda, so it's okay to have all of these. So now, we have invited Frida to come and be our honored guest. So let's think about how we're going to treat her. What's the first thing? Well, she has to be able to find her way. You know that when you have company coming at night, you turn the porch light on so that they know how to get in and they don't trip and fall or hurt themselves. Well, we're going to put out some candles. And these will help light the way for Frida. There's another one. And then this is a very typical candle that you can find these here in the United States. It's a large votive candle. And we will put one of these on as well. Well, good. So she's helping to find her way. But again, we want to make absolutely certain that she can come and visit with us. So we're going to add one more thing to help her find her way. And this is a special incense called copal. You can see here that you can get it in great big chunks. But then you break the chunks up into small pieces. You light it obviously on fire because it's incense. And the smoke wafts up into the air. And so now Frida is not only following the light of the candles, but she's following the smell of the copal so that she can find the way to this special ofrenda that we are creating for her. Now this copal does something else. It not only helps Frida find her way, but it's supposed to ward off any evil spirits that might get in the way of her journey and to make sure she has a safe trip here. So we'll add that in. Let's put it right there. Okay. Our guest has come. We have to treat her very, very well. It's been a long journey. She's tired, she's thirsty. So the first thing we're going to do is put out a pitcher of water. And along with that pitcher of water, a glass, so that she can have a nice, cool drink to refresh herself from her journey. And again, thinking about this long journey with all of these spirits, she's probably going to need to freshen up. So we're going to put out a dish, a bar of soap, and even a towel so that she can use the rest of this water to freshen up. Okay. Well, we wouldn't invite our guests, though, and just offer them water. We have to have something special for them to eat. The first thing we're going to put out is pan de muerto. Every ofrenda has to have pan de muerto. And a typical one is a round shape with a skull and crossbones on it. Many times there's some icing that's on here and a few sprinkles. This one just has a sugar syrup on it. And it's a sweet bread. The flavor is maybe a little hint of orange, maybe a little hint of anise. But you've got to have that on the ofrenda. And we're going to add another drink for Frida. We're going to add chocolate. Can't go wrong with chocolate. So we have a cup. This is a special Mexican chocolate, and it often comes with the cinnamon and sugar already mixed into it. So you would break one of those triangles off. You would drop it into the cup. You would get a nice pitcher of warm or hot milk. Pour that over. And we're in Mexico, so we're not going to use a spoon. We're going to use a molinillo. And children in Mexico even have a special chant they use while they mix their hot chocolate. And it goes like this. Uno, dos, tres, cho. Uno, dos, tres, co. Uno, dos, tres, la. Uno, dos, tres, te. Chocolate, chocolate, bate, bate, chocolate. And there's Frida's special treat. We'll just add all that in, so it will be waiting for her when she comes. Well, that's okay. That's still not a whole lot to offer our guest, is it? So you'll usually make some of their very favorite foods. We can't do that here today, but we are lucky enough to have a cookbook written by the daughter of Diego Rivera. Now, Diego Rivera was Frida's husband. And it turns out Frida loved to cook. And so, we can't put out the foods. That night we would. We might put out something like mole or tamales. But for today, we're just going to put this cookbook out. And then let's see what other delicacies we might have. Well, oh my goodness. Can't go wrong with candies and skulls. Some of these are candies from Mexico. They're typical. And, of course, chapulines. What are chapulines? You're going to love it. They're grasshoppers. And they come in flavors. These say they are sour, spicy, and salty. What do they taste like? Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I have not tried them. But the people who have tried them, my students tell me that they pretty much just taste like popcorn. They're kind of crunchy. You can also get these little packages of crickets here in the United States, if you wanted to try that. So, okay, not too bad. What else might Frida be looking forward to? It is said that the spirits spend the entire year dreaming about this one day that they get to return back to the earth and to enjoy all of the things that they had to leave behind when they departed. So what might Frida be missing? Well, she was an artist. So let's put on some paintbrushes. And of course some paints. We tried to get some kind of jazzy colors for her. And then, I don't know if you can see it here, but Frida loved animals, and many of her pictures that she painted contained animals. And there's actually a bird sitting right there on her shoulder. So who are we going to put on? Well, let's start with our friendly dog. We'll stick him over here. And we have another dog who can just kind of relax here in the middle and guard that pan de muerto. And we have a cat that can sit up here. There we go. And we said she had a picture of birds. So let's add some birds. We have Mr. and Mrs. Bird. They're probably symbols. There are two important people that are associated with Dia de los Muertos. La Catrina, the woman, and El Catrin, the man. So this is the bird version of those two. Where shall we put them? Let's just stick them right in here. All right, let me see. Well, now, that's looking pretty good. Oh, let's put in some other little toys, gadgets. So a very typical toy for Dia de los Muertos is this. It's a coffin. You're saying, Senora Bev, seriously? A coffin is a toy? And it is, because you see this string here? You pull it and up pops the skeleton. It's a jack-in-the-box. So we'll add that in. We even have a gourd here that rattles. We'll stick it in the picture for now. Okay, we're doing well. What else do we need? It looks kind of full, doesn't it? But here's the thing. We want Frida to be overwhelmed with the love and honor we are showing her. It's a long, hard journey for her to come back. We want her to return again next year. So we want this to just be overflowing with things. So we've got to find some more things to add to it because there's too much white tablecloth showing here. Frida, we know, loved to cook. She loved vegetables and fruits and flowers. So now we're going to add a bunch of them, and I'm just going to show you them and give you the names for them in Spanish, and then I'm going to take a few minutes and fill them in and come back to you. So what are we looking at? Well, let's try el maíz and las naranjas, la manzana, las peras, la lima, el limón, las uvas, and la calabaza. So I'll be back in just a few minutes after I've filled in all these blank spaces. Okay, well that's looking better. We filled it in pretty well. We have one more thing to add, and that is the papel picado. Now typically this is made out of tissue paper. We happen to be using felt. And you might notice that there are Day of the Dead designs stamped into. This doesn't necessarily go with an ofrenda, but there is the legend in Mexico that the monarch butterfly is a symbol of the departed souls coming back. Because you may know that every year the monarch butterflies migrate down to Mexico and fill in the trees just with blankets of beautiful butterflies. So we're going to add in just one more butterfly up there to represent a soul coming to visit us. And now we are finally done. And we can step back, we can enjoy this while we wait for November 1st and 2nd, the Dia de los Muertos days. And we can anticipate the time that we can remember our loved ones. We can think of the stories about them, the things they loved, the foods they liked to eat. And we can visit one more time and remember. So we hope that maybe you will think about doing your own ofrenda. It doesn't have to be this big. It could be simple shoe boxes or something like that. It can be bigger. In Mexico, some ofrendas take up the entire corner of a living room because you've got lots of family members to remember. Happy creating.